Hello, and welcome to I Hate Talking, a podcast about talking, including etymology, frustrating topics, current events, and other random subjects. I'm Adam.
And I'm Steph. We are married, and we invite you into these discussions with us as we talk about the good and the bad of talking.
We hope you enjoy today's episode. Welcome to episode 120 of I Hate Talking.
Hi, everyone.
So I think we've had a number of words in our past episodes that we said we were going to get to, but we certainly will get to the one that we talked about in our last episode, which is synopsis.
Okay.
And probably the plural, synopses.
Is that what you're saying? It's going to be synopses?
I think synopses. Yes. Like you have a thesis or you have theses.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's
that
probably
tracks.
the same root language.
Okay.
Synopsis and thesis. Maybe be the same root word. I don't know.
All right. Let's find out.
Synopsis is going to be interesting because usually syn, S-Y-N, is like with, right? In the Greek or Latin root. But I don't know if synopsis is going to be the same Greek or Latin with word. Might be the opposite. One of those might be Greek, one of those might be Latin, and syn means something different in each one.
I don't know. Sin means anything counter to God.
Yes, I'm sure that's what the Greek and Latin people of the day were thinking. So let's look up synopsis. We'll define it first. I think it's sort of like a summary statement that describes the critical points of a particular thing.
Okay. And this is because last week we read a bunch of synopses.
Synopses.
Possibly. Synopsi.
Yeah.
About AI rewording the synopsis of the movie.
Correct.
And we could not figure out if it was synopses. What did you say? Synopsize. No. What was the one you said?
I think it's going to be synopses.
Synopses. Okay.
Yep. So the singular, synopsis, according to our favorite American Heritage Dictionary of the English Language, 5th edition, it is defined as a brief outline or general view as a subject or written work, an abstract or a summary, or a general view or a collection of heads or parts so arranged as to exhibit a general view of the whole, an abstract or summary of a discourse, a syllabus, a conspectus, or a brief summary of the major points of a written work, either as prose or as a table, an abridgment or condensation of a work.
Well, there's a lot of funky words in that.
There are. It seems like synopsis is typically going to be an outline or a summary of a written work. All of those definitions typically refer to some sort of writing that it is condensing.
So I couldn't say when you at the kitchen table, just give me a synopsis of your day. That would actually not be accurate.
I mean, I guess if I wrote like a lengthy discourse about my day and then I just provided the synopsis of that particular written work, then that would be acceptable. But no, I think a more accurate statement would be like a summary or some other thing, because this does seem to be referring generally in this definition to a written work.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that.
So let's check on the etymology or the plural first. Which one?
Plural. We've been waiting a week.
That's true. Yeah, so most commonly, according to grammardefinition.com, it will be synopses. So whereas synopsis is spelled synopsis, synopses, the plural, will be spelled synopses.
Okay.
And that follows the general rule for words ending in is, where the is is changed to es. So my thesis on theses being the plural of thesis, similar to synopsis, is correct.
There you go. Good job, hon.
There also is occasionally and somewhat acceptable, but highly not the general rule. Synopses. You just basically put an ES on the end of synopsis.
But I think that's what we initially started calling it, and then we're like, that's not right.
Synopsises.
Maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very like educated. It's like what
Educated.
right. It's like what somebody that doesn't know the plural of synopsis, like we did not last week, would do, just to like make it plural. So synopses is the correct general rule that also says that will have clarity and grammatical correctness according to this particular website.
There you go. So now we can sound more educated. Synopsis.
Synopses.
I was about to say the wrong one. Synopses.
Yes. So according to this same website, and maybe we'll check another source as well, but for the particular etymology, it comes from syn, meaning together or with. So I was right.
Yeah, wow, you're on a roll tonight.
And opsis, which means seeing or view. So literally seeing together or with the view. Synopsis.
Okay.
It's still sort of strange to me that syn together or with would be used. But nonetheless, both come from Latin. And some theories here state that basically this was used with the with type language because a synopsis would provide a view of a particular thing, like we discussed a written work perhaps, that could be understood together. So a synopsis would allow understanding of a larger group of people.
Wait. But it has to be a written work.
Right. So if you summarize a written work into a synopsis, it allows a greater people of that group to understand what you're talking about.
So the whole group can understand. I thought
The
you
whole
said
group,
like
yes.
you were understanding the group. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. But no, the group is understanding.
The group is understanding the written work through this summary called a synopsis.
Yep. Got it.
Well, there you go. So synopsis and synopses are going to be the general rule, but according to that website that we quoted, grammardefinition.com, synopses is, like I said, the general rule, but synopsis is also slightly acceptable, but not preferred.
All right. But if you get tongue-tied, don't feel bad about it because it's still acceptable.
Well, we did determine that definitely synopti is.
I was rooting for that one because I like cacti and all those. I think it sounds fun.
Well, there you go. Maybe we can get into next time the reason why some words end with an I in plural. Octopi, cacti.
Yeah.
There's probably more, but those are the two that come to mind. So there you go. That is the synopsis of synopsis.
Okay.
So for the remainder of this episode, perhaps we will give some synopses or just general insights into the Netflix series We Will Find You.
Yeah.
Or I Will Find You.
I Will Find You.
I Will Find You. Very interesting title.
It's an appropriate title.
Yeah, it is an appropriate title. So I suppose spoiler alerts ahead. So I guess before we dive into perhaps some of the details, we can let our listeners know whether this is worth watching or not. And then they can make their decision if they're going to go watch it before they listen to this episode so that we don't spoil it for them.
Okay, yeah. So you don't have to turn it off yet and decide if you want to watch it or not.
Yeah, in my opinion, you don't have to turn off this episode because it's not worth watching.
I love the movie. Okay, first.
Well, it's not a movie. It's a show.
A 4-part, right? No, 8-part. 8-part show.
8-part, yes. Like where they had so much content that they couldn't fit into a movie. So they went to a TV show provider like Netflix and said, hey, let's make this movie, but AKA let's make it actually a TV show.
Okay, so first, it is not for children. It is an adult content.
Yeah, it has mature themes of variety of things that contain things, right? Language, violence,
yeah.
yes.
All right. So obviously, if you're not of that, then it's not for you, anyways. But I watched it. I binged it and was obsessed. I loved it so much. I was begging pretty much everyone I talked to watch it because I desperately wanted to talk to someone about it. And so I finally got you to. It was a couple weeks. And you finally agreed to watch it. And then you didn't even like it. And that bums me out. So now this is my opportunity to talk about it.
Well, there you go. So you would recommend it to other people.
Yes, I told everyone to watch it.
And you recommended it to many people.
Yes.
Did any of those other people actually watch it?
I don't know yet. But they should. I don't know why people are so against watching it.
I don't know.
It's so good. It's okay. There are a lot of surprises in it, right?
That's all. It's almost like Toy Story 4, where you get like this ending fatigue. Like, oh, we're going to end the show because we figured out this major cliffhanger. And it's like, oh no, actually just redirection. We're going to have another cliffhanger. And it happened several times over. So I think that's part of the reason that perhaps I did not like it, is it like just could have been wrapped up sooner.
But it was surprising, right? I know you thought that you had figured it out pretty early on. And I was trying so hard. I have such a bad poker face, but I was trying so hard because you knew I'd already watched it and I was watching it alone for the second time, watching it with you. And so when you thought you figured it out, I was trying really hard not to give it away that you were wrong. So I think I convinced you were right, even so. Do you agree with that? My reaction?
Perhaps so. Towards the end, maybe. That was also maybe part of the issue that I had with the show, is now reflecting on it, is it like made this particular thing, like this is the person who did it and this is the reason why, and this all makes sense, and you should think that this is the reason that all this happened in this particular narrative. And it's like so obvious, and you're like on episode 2, like, well, obviously that cannot be the answer because you have 6 more episodes after this. So like this can't be the solution because there's more things
There's
there's not enough content. So I think maybe that frustrated me a little bit. Like the show is trying to make it so obvious that this is the quote unquote solution, and you know that it's not the solution. So it's like almost trying too hard to say that there's going to be a twist. Like obviously there's going to be a twist because you're making this particular point that XYZ is going to be the solution, that it's so obvious that obviously it's not.
But they do that a couple times. I guess to your point about the fatigue, they put like all their eggs in one basket, and you're like, "This is what it is," and then it's like, "Oh no, it's not. Oh, it's this. Oh wait, no, it's not." And so that's why at the very end I was like, "What?" Like my mind was blown. Like I didn't. All of a sudden, I felt like that meme. Is it Julia Roberts when she's trying to think and all the numbers are around her and she's trying to solve a problem? Like all of it came together. Like, oh yeah, duh, blah, 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 blah. So I absolutely loved that.
Yeah, I guess it's true. The last 2 episodes were good. Like if you can sort of grind out the first episode is like mainly introduction, that's fine. So if this is an 8-part episode, right, then like episodes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are sort of a grind, in my opinion. And then 7 and 8 are good. So like if you could just watch, maybe that would be a good thing to do. If you have not watched this and are willing to try this experiment, just watch episodes 1 and then the last 2 episodes and see if it makes sense. And it like cuts out all the stuff that is like fluff.
I mean, I think it could make sense, but you're not going to get the whoa, aha moments.
Right. But then it's almost like a movie. Instead of like binge watching a show,
Mm-hmm.
it would be like a movie. And you will save at least like 5 hours of time. Maybe we will do this experiment.
Okay.
And watch episode 1.
I'll watch it again. I'll watch it a third time.
Watch episode 1.
Okay.
And then the last 2 episodes. Where like you find out that the main antagonist is the antagonist. Not all these like fake antagonists that they prop up in the beginning.
I'm trying to think of when certain people come in, though. Is it 1 or is it 2? Episode 2. I guess we'll have to watch it and find out. I think it's episode 2, though, when people come in.
I think the picnic scene is in episode 1. So you have like a reference to the person, but yeah, you don't really have any character development.
You're not going to have any. I'm not opposed to doing it your way, but you're not going to have any buy-in at that point if you do it that way. You're not going to be invested in the characters.
I'm sort of not really still invested in the characters. Like, it took so long to go through this process that, like, yeah, I don't know.
So you regret watching it?
Not like firmly.
7 years back, 7 hours back?
Not firmly. Not firmly against it. Not firmly regretting it. But yeah, I think I would have rather rewatched like something else that I know was good. Like John Wick. I would have rather watched John Wick. That's on my list to do, is like rewatch
all of them.
All of the John Wick movies, yes.
Or you're just gonna watch one and how many does he have? He probably has like 8 by now.
I think there's 5.
Is it 5?
And then there's also like the side universe, like I don't know if it's necessarily like a show, it's more like a soundtrack. It's like the John Wick music experience.
So our kids haven't watched it. I mean, I hope they haven't watched John Wick yet.
I make them listen to the soundtrack, though.
Oh, maybe that's how I was about to say.
How do they know who he is?
They know who he is. They'll reference him and stuff. Like if someone's being like really cool or whatever, like crazy cool and powerful, they're like, whoa, John Wick. It cracks me up.
Is that like a term now?
I guess.
I don't know.
I can't keep up with their terms.
Yep, I'm behind in all the terminology. I used a like millennial term at work the other day, and my younger cohort was like, "Good word." I don't remember what it was.
I hope you remember. It was a good word.
Yeah, I have no idea. We'll think about it and probably not remember.
Was it a good word or did you slip
it was a very, very appropriate use of whatever it's called, millennial term, right? Are they millennials? Gen A?
We're millennials.
What's the gen?
Below us?
Alphas?
Alphas are kids. No, yes. Gen Z.
Gen Z. Yes, there you go.
That's the ones that are entering like the workforce right now or in high school and stuff.
I suppose so. I don't know. It's all sort of a blur with all these terminology things that are used. But I guess that makes me old.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't regret watching I Will Find You, per se. But like if I was going to devote my time to watching a show or movie, I think I would have rather watched something that I knew was good and rewatched something that I knew was good.
Okay, so this is a spoiler. Did it give it away that it was a good ending? Because I liked it, right? I feel like I wouldn't like something unless it's a good ending, right? I was worried that y'all
we've given minor spoilers here so far. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to have major spoilers.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So, yes, that's probably true. It has a quote-unquote happy ending. It leaves a little bit to the imagination with like whether the main character and sort of the supporting actress are like together as a relationship or something like that. But it's generally a happy ending.
But I feel like, because I kept talking about how good it was and to everybody, and I was like, oh, they're going to know it ends good though, because I don't like movies that end sad.
Yeah, but it also sort of ends in a positive light just because that's what you, the viewer, are focused on based on the narrative, because there's still an orphan at the end of the movie that does not have any resolution.
Yeah, that is sad.
But you're focused based on the way the story is written to not even really think about that.
Yeah.
See, I think that's my problem. Like, I like open-ended movies and shows where like the narrative will actually encourage you to think about a variety of things instead of being like forced into their particular narrative. Like, you will think that this person is the bad person and then we'll trick you and they're actually a really good person, or they're just like a person that was part of the story.
But they did that.
Yeah, that's why I don't like that.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't like
I would
it.
rather have it more open ended, where like you, the viewer, can decide whether they are good or bad.
No, because I was just like, oh, this person's good, this person's bad, like the whole way through. And then at the end, I was like, whoa, I was wrong. Everyone, not everyone, but a lot of the people I thought were good were bad and so forth. And also, there's an argument in there. The bad guy makes an argument for the orphan
That's
being
true.
better off. So it depends. I don't agree, but it depends on your philosophy. Maybe the orphan was good after all.
I suppose it depends on your
I
philosophy.
don't agree either. I
Right.
can't even what I'm saying. I have a hard time with that, but that was his justification.
That's true. I mean, at least he had a justification. But yes. So, I mean, my theory early on was like this guy in prison was just having a hallucination
That's
and
yeah.
like this is all in his head.
That's
And
what
I
he kept
sort of
saying.
actually wish that was the ending. Like that just by the end of the final episode, like he woke up. He was like still in prison and like it was all just some fever dream.
No, see, I wouldn't have liked it then. I would have been so sad.
I guess. I also don't feel like I was vested in the child in which he was seeking.
Mm,
And I don't know why that is. Maybe because there's like so few depictions of that particular child
hmm
and it's more like just flashbacks and things like that. But it didn't seem like there was actually established as part of the story, like a very real connection in terms of a relationship between the father and the son.
So you weren't really rooting for the kid.
It's just, it was like another kid. It was like as much of a character as the orphan.
hmm Yeah, it's true. Very little was actually said about him.
Right.
The only one thing I had a problem with in the show, and I have a problem with this in a lot of shows, is obviously they have like the protagonist, right? Or the main characters. And so you're rooting for them. And lots of people get hurt along the way, protecting them or trying to stop them. And so I always feel bad about that because there's like a lot of casualties that, okay, this one family's happy, but there are a lot of other families that are hurt along the way. I
That's
think
true.
that's very common, even like Indiana Jones and movies like that, that happens. It's just how movies are made, I guess. But it's hard to not think like, well, that character, even if he didn't have a name in the script, if he's just, I don't know, guy with hat number 2, he still had a family.
That's true. I mean, it's different in Indiana Jones and like some of the perhaps older movies where there was like a good guy side and a bad guy side. And like if a bad guy from the bad guy side was a casualty, you don't necessarily care as much. Whereas like I Will Find You will be more just ambivalent about whether they're quote unquote good people or bad people, which
Right.
is sort of the whole theme, right? You don't know from the entire characters whether they're good people or bad people, quote unquote.
Right. Well, each person had reasoning to do what they did all these years. This is like a 5-year time frame that narrows down to just like a week, but it starts off 5 years ago, and you just see people's lives and what they did in those 5 years and how they thought they were doing the right thing. And I mean, we can always argue like, oh, this person obviously did the wrong thing, or this one also obviously did the wrong thing. But in their head, they were doing the right thing still, even if we didn't agree with their philosophy.
I suppose so.
They had justifications for why they did it.
Right.
The mom had justifications for what she did for her son. The dads had justifications for what they did for their sons.
Yeah, I guess, right. The narrative sort of just portrays it as happening. There's not necessarily any like moral commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Like Indiana Jones will have like a underlying moral commentary that these are the bad people, these are the good people. And even if they're not necessarily, at least it's presented very clearly. These are the good and these are the bad.
Well, maybe the overall story in here, the moral story, is that parents will even put themselves on the line for their children. Because there's there's five. There are five parents and kids stories in this that run kind of simultaneous. The cop and his kid.
Yeah, that was also
two
still
cops
not
and their
that,
kids.
Yeah, that was also very confusing. That they called each other brother and they had no relationship.
No, because the two dads were police officers.
I understand. You explained it. That like after the fact that these two dads had two kids, two sons.
They raised them
and right.
They were
like
cousins
brothers.
or brothers.
Right.
Yeah. And then there was like the current cop and his daughter, and then the famous mom and her son. So there's a ton of parents doing pretty sketchy stuff for the well-being of their child.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I think that's the moral, is parents will do whatever it takes for their child.
I guess so. And they will find their kid.
Yeah.
I guess I don't think it really has a moral.
Watch it, guys. It's so good.
Yeah, I still maintain that it is not good. The more I think about it, the more I actually dislike it. The more I've talked about it during this episode.
Will you not even watch 1, 7, and 8 together?
I don't know. Maybe we'll try and see if that is a better experience.
If you watch them again, I'll watch The Matrix with you.
You've watched The Matrix with me.
Yeah, it's been over almost 2 decades.
Have you watched The Matrix Reloaded?
At one point you showed them all to me, all of them to me.
I watched it while you were sitting beside me. Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah, I mean, well, is that the one in the movie? I think the one that most recent in the movie theater I haven't seen.
I've watched it at least 3 times, which is sort of sad because the other Matrix movies I've watched double digits, but that one's not quite as good.
I don't think I've seen it. Have I? You've seen it in the theaters.
I've seen it in the theaters. Yeah, maybe you have not watched it.
I don't know.
The Animatrix.
Yeah, I don't like that one. I do remember watching that one.
There you go. So maybe we'll do our experiment, or you, our listener, can do the experiment. You can either watch all of them or watch episode 1 and then the last 2. I think there's 8, right?
There's 8. It's definitely going to spoil it.
That's true. You can't go back. So if you do this experiment and watch 1, 7, 8, and let me confirm just to make sure that there's 8 episodes.
Okay.
Or that if this experiment is correct. So there are 8 episodes. So that is correct. And I would say you can watch episode 1. And then you might even be able to jump to 8. Where's the guy? Yeah, I think it might be 8. I think you could watch 1 and 8 and it would work. But definitely 1, 7, 8, I think. Because episode 7 is where they jump way back in history. I think it might work 1, 8. These were also dropped on the same day, all 8 episodes. It was made to be binged. I also don't appreciate that. I would much rather have a TV experience like Silo, where you have to wait for each episode. You can actually think and reflect and theorize on what's going to happen in the next episode. That's like old school TV shows. That's how it used to be. Maybe it's just nostalgic. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, we are in the middle of Silo right now, but it's so frustrating when we watch it. Okay, in disclosure, it takes us about 2 nights, sometimes 3, to watch 1 episode of Silo, right?
That's true. We're not caught up on the current episode, and we are on night 3 if we try to attempt that.
Because I fall asleep, and then we have to stop it and rewatch it or start it later. But when we do watch it, or if we start it early enough in the night that I can finish it before falling asleep, then I get disappointed because I want to watch more. And you have to wait an entire week. And I can't believe we used to have to wait an entire week to watch Boy Meets World or all those movies. It's crazy. Or TV shows. It's crazy. I don't like that The only thing I do like about it is that it builds the anticipation. Like when Friday comes and Silo drops, it's exciting. And I look forward to it now. Which used to be Fridays, right? Like TGIF and stuff. Oh, thank God it was Friday. And you'd have all the good TV shows.
That's true. So perhaps we will try our test, our experiment of I Will Find You episode 1, followed by, I think, episode 8. I think that is the experiment. And then you, our listener, can let us know in a comment, email, or text message if you've watched this particular show. And if you're going to sign up to do the experiment and be spoiled, because if you do this experiment straight from watching it the initial time, it's pretty much going to ruin episodes 2 through 7. So
right. I mean, yeah,
be forewarned.
You can obviously watch it, but everything's set up. You're going to know, okay,
Correct.
this is a red herring or this is whatever.
Right.
Yep.
But if you are not really interested in it and we're not planning on watching it, then just do episodes 1 through 8 or 1 and 8.
Right. That's right. 1 through 8, everyone. You heard
1
him.
and 8. It'll save you time, and then you can say you watched it.
Yeah. It's less than an hour and a half of your time.
There you go. So, from your friends at I Hate Talking, until next time, remember, it is only through talking that we begin the journey to understanding.